Hello my quilting friends, my name is Leah Day and we are assembling a Qnique 16X long arm today. We're going to take it out of the box, assemble the wheels, encoders, handlebars, all of the details, all of the kind of just construction of the long arm so you can see what is involved in getting a machine like this and how to set it up. So let's get started. So the very first step is to take your wheels and the boxes that are on the top of the packaging of your long arm and take all of that out because we're actually going to rearrange the styrofoam in the box as the first step. And we're doing this because we assemble the wheels to the long arm within the styrofoam. It's really, really cool and it works great. So for the 16X, we're going to take the top piece of styrofoam, put that on the bottom, and then there's some handles on the sides, and this is one situation you really need a helper. So have someone grab the other handles, and then you're going to lift up the long arm and all of that styrofoam and place it on top of that first piece. Once that's in place, you're going to remove that bottom side piece that allows you to access the bottom of the long arm. Let's attach our wheel assemblies to the bottom of the long arm. You want to make sure to attach the one with rubber. It's a black rubber spacer on the top of the wheel assembly. Make sure that goes to the front of the long arm. And you're going to attach that with these special shoulder bolts. So make sure that screws in nice and tight. And then you'll find the back wheel assembly has just silver metal on the top of it. And that is going to attach with 2 screws. Get that attached nice and tight and then install your long arm on the bottom carriage on your frame. In order to attach the long arm to the bottom carriage, you will need to at least remove the back rail on your frame if it is fully assembled. If your frame is only partially assembled, that's okay. You'll have been using your frame guide, your frame instruction manual, so it will have gotten you to the exact right point of when to put your long arm in place. So place it on the bottom carriage, make sure that it's rolling nicely, and now we're going to center the wheels. The instructions include only loosening the 2 set screws on one side of the long arm. My general routine, I guess I should say, is to go on ahead and loosen both sets. So it's a total of 4 screws. So all you got to do is loosen those screws up a little bit, roll the machine back and forth, double check that all wheels are rolling, and you can do this by marking the wheels themselves with a little Sharpie marker. That really helps. Roll it back and forth, check that all of the wheels are rolling on both sides, and then tighten up all of those set screws. So there we go, our long arm is in place, it's rolling smoothly, and all of the wheels are rolling. Now it's time to attach our handlebars. We need to remove a screw from the back handlebar bracket, and then attach the handlebars coming in from the back side of the front of the long arm, and tighten up that screw so that way the bracket holds it firmly in place. Make sure to plug in. The port that you're wanting to plug this into is a little bit lower down, a little closer to the foot. So locate that port, plug that in, and then you can change the position and direction of your handlebars by releasing the latches. There's silver latches on the handlebars themselves. You can also loosen the screw that is attaching the handlebars within that bracket, and that will allow you to lower the handlebars if you want them lower or raise them up higher. Now let's attach our thread stand. Remove any packaging around the thread stand and place it so that the whiter part is to the back. It's very obvious how it's going to fit onto your long arm. Now you have a much longer screw that goes into the backmost screw hole, and then you have 3 smaller screws that attach to both sides and the front. And you are going to need to move that little bit of black foam in order to access those 2 side screws. So get that end screwed in nice and tight, and you're ready to move to the next step. The next step is to attach your encoders. You attach the upper encoder to the machine itself, and we remove the back left-hand wheel from the long arm. So go on ahead and remove that wheel, but save the screw. And now we're going to slot the encoder through the wheel, making sure that the thicker side, there's like a thicker, almost built-in washer side of the wheel is facing the long arm. Take some time and make sure that the screw is nicely aligned with your long arm. I accidentally recently attached one and I kind of stripped out the screw because it wasn't angled quite right. So be really careful as you attach this. Also, now something I noticed specifically with this machine is that the set screws for the spring, that's that smaller screw on the encoder, they were tight, and that's not good. So take your 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench and loosen that little set screw so that the two screws are moving completely independently. This is very important because if we tighten up that bigger screw as we're attaching the wheel and we're also tightening up that spring, we could go on ahead and break our encoder before we've even gotten started with things. So loosen that little screw, make sure that both screws are moving independently of one another. And once you get the larger screw, the screw that's attaching your wheel and the encoder to the long arm, then you're going to lift that little bit of metal. It's like a little folded darker piece of metal. You're going to bring that up to the 12 o'clock position, and that's when you tighten that smaller set screw down again. What this does is this adds tension to the spring on the encoder that ensures the encoder is going to read all the movement of the long arm as you're rolling back and forth and side to side. If you don't have that spring attached and have tension on it properly, you will have problems with your stitch length. And that's something that is very important whenever we're long arm quilting. We want beautiful, consistent stitches. All right, so now let's attach our bottom encoder. This is exactly the same process. We attach this to the back right hand wheel, and you'll know that this is the correct wheel by looking at your bottom carriage. Make sure that's the rear side of your bottom carriage, and it's the right hand wheel. So we're going to remove the wheel, remove the screw, save the screw, go ahead and slot that wheel through the encoder screw, making sure that the thicker part of the wheel is going to face the carriage. So fully attach and tighten up the encoder and the wheel, and then lift that spring, lift that little folded bit of metal to the 12 o'clock position, and then tighten the set screw. Now I removed the cords on my encoders as I was attaching them just because it felt easier. Make sure to reattach those cords and make sure that they are using the right cord for the right encoder. So the longer cord is labeled with green, that goes to the bottom encoder, and it slots up, at least with the Evolution Elite frame and Evolution hoop frame, because that carriage is so long, it slots up through a slot in the bottom of the carriage. So make sure that's plugged in nicely, and then that upper encoder has a shorter cord and it is labeled with purple. So make sure that's plugged in nicely to the back of our machine, and then the last step on the back of our machine is to plug in the power cord, lock that down nicely, and then turn on the machine. It's time to give it a test. Make sure to remove any packaging from the machine needle area, remove your bobbin case, remove your bobbin, and then just hit the start-stop button and roll the machine both forward and back and side to side. This will give you a good idea if everything is working properly, and you can start to get used to your monitor and the machine controls that your machine came with. Now within the 16X box, you will find a training kit. This is a box that includes several spools of finesse thread, some pre-wound bobbins, and a really cute quilting panel. So if you would like to quilt this with me and see how to quilt lots of different designs, get lots of practice in, let me know in the comments below. And what we will do is we will go through and quilt this cute little panel, practice lots of different designs, get lots of just understanding of the machine, how it works, how to do freehand, free motion quilting. That's the style of quilting that you can do with this machine straight out of the box. Let me know in the comments below if you would like to quilt along with me in the next video and stitch this cute little panel as we learn lots of very simple designs together. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, thumbs up, all that good stuff. And if you're interested in a Qnique 16X or 16X Elite, these are great little long arms, great to get started with. You can find the 16X series at leahday.com/16. Come and check it out. And until next time, let's go quilt.